Oh, Shanti, good morning, diamond morning. Baba's Murli, today is the 25th of February, 2022. In the essence, Baba says, sweet children, follow the Father's Srimad at every step and imbibe the Father's teachings. This is having mercy for yourselves. Question: how are the child emperor and master, the advisor, all together at this time? Answer: the child emperor is the vice of lust, and the master, the advisor, is anger. The two are deeply connected with one another. All human beings are at present under the influence of these two. Someone who becomes a child of the Father, but then becomes under the influence of lust or anger, would become one who gives the Father a bad name. Such children cross out their fortune. Baba says, sweet children, conquer these enemies. It is said of anger, wherever there is anger, even the water in the urn dries up. And the song of Baba's Murli. Do not forget the days of your childhood. Om Shanti. Do you children know who has come into the gathering? Bab and Dada both together. If he were corporeal, then Bab would be separate from Dada. This is a wonderful sign. Who has come? The intellects of the children say that Sri Baba has come. Only the one Father, not two fathers, is the creator of heaven. Yes, he definitely has helpers. Both the Father and the children do the work. It is the greatness of the Father, and so it is also the greatness of the children. This Dada is also a child. You come here to class. The word gathering is common. There are many gatherings. This is the study place of God. It is seen everywhere that each one is listening to the knowledge and imbibing it. Their faces are blossoming. Whilst listening, their mercury of happiness rises. There are also limited fathers, teachers, and gurus. That one is the unlimited father and teacher. Today, he is teaching you. And so, how high should the mercury of happiness rise? There are many children. It is said God Shiva speaks, or even Shivacharya, Shiva the teacher, is teaching us. He is the ocean of knowledge. After Shivacharya comes Shankaracharya. There are two types of renunciation. This renunciation is for becoming Satopradhan, or completely pure deities. It is easy yoga. You know that the Father has entered the body of this Brahma. This is why you have to say Bap Dada. There are the grandchildren. There, a corporeal father becomes a grandfather, and then a great-grandfather. Here, the grandfather is incorporeal. Baba enters this one and speaks the knowledge to you. Those who belong to the Brahmin clan are God's children. You say, O Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, we belong to you. And then played our parts of 84 births. It is such an easy aspect. In the world, when a father has 5 or 7 children, 1 or 2 of them would be unworthy. The Father has so many children, and so there would be some unworthy as well as some. There would be some worthy as well as some unworthy children. Some have the influence of lust and some the influence of anger. If even one person in a house has anger, there would be fighting. An angry person makes a household very unhappy. Here too, if some have an evil spirit of anger, they become those who spoil Shiva's name. They give the father a bad name. That is, they cross out their own fortune. Anger is a very great enemy. Where there is anger and sorrow, that is called hell. It is said that anger even dries up the water in the urn of someone's home. So the father explains that those who have anger receive the Shrimad. Do not make others unhappy due to your anger. Very interesting point here. The father gives the Shrimad to those who have anger. Do not make others unhappy due to your anger. Otherwise, your fortune will be crossed out and your status destroyed. Instead of being God's children, you would become the devil's children. Here it is written, deity sovereignty is your godfatherly birthright. It is your right to claim the full inheritance of the golden age. You have to claim the full inheritance and become Lakshmi or Narayan. If someone becomes even one of the subjects in heaven, that too is a great fortune. At least they would go there. Establishment takes place gradually. They are then made to make a promise and have a rakhi tied on them. No one can remain hidden. You Brahmins are now God's children. Baba asks, is your clan greater or is the deity clan greater? Which clan is more elevated? In brackets, they would have answered, that of the Brahmins. We cannot say that the deities are as elevated. The Brahmins belong to God's clan, and they then make Bharat into heaven. The Brahmins belong to God's clan, and they make Bharat into heaven. Brahmins are said to be the top notch. In fact, they should build a temple to Shiva on a high mountain, but because no one nowadays would be able to climb up there, they built them in the cities. Shiv Baba is the highest on high, and so his temple should also be high on a mountain top. His temple should also be high on a mountain top. Look at the state of the world. Everyone is completely ruined. The Father comes and makes everyone prosperous again. All of you become prosperous at the confluence age. You were residents of hell for a total of 63 births. There is an accurate calculation. You ruled in heaven for 21 births, and you then continue to descend for 63 births. Your degrees continue to decrease. Now, no degrees remain. All of you are in the dust. There is a saying, even if you decorate a donkey 100 times, it will still go and roll in the dust. That refers to this time. Baba says, I decorate you so that you become like Lakshmi and Narayan. But the vices then make you fall into the dust. The dust of anger continues to distress you. There are many who have a lot of anger. Violence is also a form of anger. Without anger, they cannot attack anyone. If someone doesn't receive a share of the property, he gets angry, and a brother would kill a brother. This fighting begins with anger. The Father explains, beloved children, do not get angry. Otherwise, you will cross out your line of fortune and the fortune of your companions, that is, those who get with whom you get angry will also be crossed out. Out of anger, people say, if you come to my house, I will kill you. The Father now puts you mothers in the front. You know that you become Shiv Shaktis every cycle. Shiv Baba comes and makes you belong to him. If your children didn't exist, that could be Shiv Baba. Baba says, if your children didn't exist, what could Shiv Baba do by himself? You, Shiv Shaktis, are very well known in Bharat. If you haven't seen a temple built as your memorial, you can see one in Abu. Of course, it is the Dharwala temple. It is your accurate memorial. There are also the images of the elephant riders. It is a wonder that you have come and taken up residence here. Pandavavan, the main headquarters, is in Mount Abu near that temple, which is the Dharwala temple. So Baba says, it is a wonder that you have come and taken up residence here. Since you celebrate the birthday of Shiva, he must definitely have come here. Do you know when and how he came? You do not know the occupation of the one who made Bharat as valuable as a diamond. The deities were at first Brahmins and then became as valuable as diamonds. The Brahmins who held Baba became deities. You can explain about their occupation to everyone. However, only a few will understand because there is a limit in the kingdom. This is why it is said, a handful out of many millions. Even after speaking of Mama and Baba, some children forget Baba. Oh, Maya, you are so powerful. This continues to happen. Even great commanders die when they are shot. Many soldiers also die. When important ones die, they cry out in distress. Baba says, Maya killed so-and-so in the Shiv Shakti army. This has to happen. There isn't as much concern when someone from the infantry dies, but for a Maharati, everyone would say, oh, Maya has killed that one. It isn't that he wouldn't go to heaven. He will go, but his status will be destroyed. This is why Baba says, you must not go into that line where your status is destroyed. Baba says, those who went away a cycle ago will do so again. Some write, so-and-so came regularly for 4 years, but Maya has now caught hold of him. Just as when a fly dies, ants eat it, and it is completely finished. So the 5 evil spirits of Maya totally destroy that person. You children now know the occupation of everyone. How many birds do those of Islam, the Buddhists, and the Christians take? You know this too. The locks on your intellects have opened so much. Each of you has received a powerful third eye of knowledge. Baba says the Gita is the main one, and the rest are its children. The Gita is the mother and father. The Gita is the mother, and Shiva is the father, and we are created through the Gita. In fact, all the scriptures are also created through this. Just as the head of souls, Shiv Baba, is at the very top. In the same way, the head of all the scriptures is the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the jewel of all the scriptures. It is just that by saying that they are the versions of God Shri Krishna, they have made the impact of the whole of the Gita disappear. This too is fixed in the drama. The main thing is to remember Shiv Baba constantly. Those who follow the Father's Srimad accurately will continue to increase their remembrance of Shiv Baba. The more obedient and faithful you remain, the more you will be able to surrender yourself to Baba. Baba, I now surrender myself to you. You have to forget everything, including your body, and become completely alone. You have to have renunciation to that extent. Many children are completely free from any bondage, whereas others who have attachment continue to come here like ants. If you have attachment to your husband or your children, you cannot have your intellect connected in yoga with Shiv Baba. That is until you surrender yourself with an honest heart to the Lord. Many tell lies, but you have to sacrifice yourself completely. You have to become a complete trustee and take Srimad at every step. Many children send their accounts to Shiv Baba and then they ask, should I get my children married? Or should I build a house? Yes, you may do that. It doesn't matter. You're never told no to anything. When you become completely free from attachment, you even then have no need to ask. However, this doesn't mean that if you ask whether you can indulge in vice, you would be told yes. No, that would be foolishness. However, if there would be no loss or damage in something, yes, you may do that. Conquer attachment. And you can then do whatever you want. The Father knows that, what He knows, that you will stay busy doing service and that you will continue to follow the Father. The older children sacrificed themselves. There is also the praise of their sacrifice. All are poor. The mothers are very good. They do not need to surrender themselves. Only those who are wealthy have to surrender themselves. People do not give anything to women. Hardly anyone wills everything to his wife. Otherwise, their children would take everything away. Nowadays, no one listens to anyone. Give me a little money and I will put everything right. They even give a false judgment, and it doesn't even matter to them if someone is totally ruined. Baba is called the Supreme Justice, the Supreme Father, and the Supreme Sadguru, and he is also the Supreme Dharamraj. There cannot be any fluctuation in his judgment. There isn't anything like that fixed in the drama. Here, Baba says, however, here there are many courts, each one higher than the next. In some places, no one even listens to the president. Therefore, the Father says, beloved children, you have to become bodiless. You have to return home with the Father. The Father is the guide. He is also called the Liberator. All the titles are his. He is also called the Peacemaker. Nowadays, people give peace prizes. It is Maya that makes you peaceless. Peace exists in the Golden Age and the land of liberation. In the land beyond sound, there is total peace. In the Golden Age, too, there is 100% peace, purity, and prosperity. The very name is the land of happiness. How could there be peace in the land of sorrow? Perhaps sannyasis have a little peace, but that is like the droppings of a crow. That is very rare. You wouldn't say that in the Golden Age. Here, even a kingdom is like the droppings of a crow. Baba explains, Maya will slap you a great deal. You will then continue to choke internally and not tell the truth. You must tell the truth to the eternal surgeon. Otherwise, if you do not speak the truth, your sins will be increased and there will be severe punishment. Acha. So, you should not commit any sin in the future. The punishment of bringing a bad name to Baba is very severe. The Father has come to make you into the masters of the world, and those who create obstacles in this bring punishment upon themselves. Devils create obstacles. You children should not create obstacles. There is benefit in this for you children. It is a sin even to look at the face of an angry person. Hear no evil, see no evil, ... You must not even look at the face of an angry person. Greed and attachment are no less. The child emperor is lust, and the master, the advisor, is anger. Both of them are great bandits. Anger is a very dirty bandit. Those who claim the full inheritance from the Father and glorify his name are worthy children. This, Baba says, the daughters are cleverer. The daughters are cleverer than I am. No one can be cleverer than Shiv Baba. The Father places the children on his head. Unlimited Bapnada has love and regard for the children. He desires each child to claim his fortune of the kingdom and to be constantly happy. The Father would say, child, may you stay alive. May you have a long life. Have mercy for yourself by imbibing the teachings that the Father gives you. If you do not follow Srimad, you cross out your line of fortune. You know that Shiv Baba has come from the supreme abode to give you your inheritance of heaven. To the extent that you make effort, to the extent that each of you makes effort, to the extent that you have mercy for yourself, you will accordingly make yourself elevated. If you indulge in vice, your light will be extinguished and you will not be able to imbibe the oil of knowledge. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dharana, first point to practice for today. You must completely surrender yourself to the Lord from deep within your heart. Become a complete trustee and follow Srimad at every step. Forget everything, including your body, and be alone. Excuse me. Second point. After becoming a child of the Father, you must not create any obstacles in the Father's task. You must not do anything that would spoil Baba's name. You must not do anything that would bring spoil to Baba's name. Become obedient and faithful. Excuse. Baba's blessing for today. May you transform yourself by discerning the time and the atmosphere and become loved by all. Those who have the power of transformation are loved by all. They are easy in their ideas too. They have the power to mold themselves. They would never ask, my idea, my plan, my service was so good, and so why were they not accepted? To have the consciousness of mind means that there is alloy mixed in them. So just earn the time and the atmosphere and transform yourself, and you will be loved by all and become number one victorious soul. Slogan: become one who finishes problem, not one who is an embodiment of problems. Om Shanti. May you have a powerful day in Baba's sweet remembrance and no trace of anger or any vices.